My name is Priya and I would like to present my results for the project preparing for influenza season. My presentation has three parts. It's introduction, second and the main part it's analysis, and last part is summary results and recommendation. So here we can see our first slide as project overview. I would like to remind about why, our mission, objective, and scope of the project. So, influenza season in United States is season where more people suffer from the flu more than usual. Some people, especially vulnerable population, developed serious complication and even up in the hospital. Our mission is hospital and clinics have extra patient and accordingly they need additional staff. So the medical staffing agency provides the temporary staff. Our objective is to determine when to send staff and how many to each state, and the scope of project that the agency covers all hospitals in the 50 states of United States, and the project will plan for the upcoming influenza season. Here we can see our first chart is combo chart, and in combo chart we use bar chart and line chart. Bar chart represent two group of deaths and line chart represent total death of influenza season. In two group of death it's cover 65 plus year death and 0 to 64-year death. This is annual influenza deaths from 2009 to 2017 in all states of America. We can see the deaths number for each year. Dark color represents 65 plus year death and the lighter color represent below 65-year death. In the chart, we can see 65-year older people death rate is high. It's called vulnerable population. Vulnerable population is special group of population that likely to develop complication from the flu. These people over 65 year, children under 5 year and pregnant women. And people with such disease as cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, asthma and neurological disorder. So, we are going to first part of our anal analysis, and my first question is what is influenza and who is at risk? I want to say the definition of influenza: illness caused by influenza viruses. So, simply, this is viral infection that infect the nose, throat, and sometimes the lungs. It can cause mild to severe illness and at times can lead to death. The best way to prevent flu is by getting a flu vaccine every year. Vulnerable population patients have high risk of death. 65 years old people group is vulnerable population and this group have high risk of influenza death. Here in our analysis, first of all we need to determine what group exactly the most at risk. And looking by this pie chart, we can already see that very high number has the group of 65 plus year. Dark color is 65 plus year death and we can see it in the pie chart. This is a high. We go to the correlation chart and this chart represent 65 plus year population and 65 plus year death. In the correlation coefficient, it's a strong correlation between 65 plus year population and 65 plus year death. So, we are going to the next step is to determine what states have highest deaths. First of all, we can look at the bar chart. In the bar chart, we can see top 5 state name. They have highest death of people 65 plus year. Top 5 states name are California, New York, Texas, Pennsylvania, and Florida. The states have highest dates from 2009 to 2017. In the right side chart, same we can see top 5 states with highest deaths. In the bar chart, dark color represents 65 plus year death and lighter color represent below 65 year death. We going to our next analysis to determine when is exactly influenza season. We can see here bar chart. We have chart from 2009 to 2017. In the chart, we can see January, February and March have a highest death, and October, November and December have a higher death. So we can say that influenza season typically start between November or December and end between March or April. There is also increase in October and November, likely due to change climate. Influenza peak months between December and March. In the right side, we can see the drop down button for year. So we can select single year and see which month is higher death. And this lighter color represent year, lighter to dark like 2009 to 2017. We are going to our last of the presentation is recommendation, our conclusion. My conclusion is 65 year and older population is vulnerable population and they have high risk of influenza death. Another thing is higher population states have higher influenza death rate. We can see in the map dark color represent higher death and large dark circle represent higher population. You can select single state and see which state have a higher population and higher death. Same thing we can select year and see which year which state have how many population and how much death. And my limitation is we have CDC have only child vaccination data. They don't have adult vaccination data. And recommendation is redistribute staff from state where less influenza death rate to state where high influenza death rates. Second recommendation is manage vaccination camping across the country so people will get flu shot and it will help to decrease the influenza symptoms and death rate. We can see the forecast chart. This chart help to the future year analysis. We can see top 5 state forecasting and my further analysis is influenza vaccine data will be help for proper analysis in vulnerable population and especially that state where population and deaths are high. So, this is my recommendation. Now we can determine when and what state exactly need additional staff and upcoming influenza season. Thank you for the attention.